That's what they should call Family Feud, right? There's a Mexican version of Family Feud called Cien Mexicanos Dijeron, which basically translates to 100 Mexicans said. 100 Mexicans said, dude. What's going on? All right, we're back. We're back. Let me spread my ass cheeks so that I'm sitting straight up. We are back for another episode of The Pupil's Life, man. And it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I already cursed, so this isn't gonna be the no cursing episode, even though that was something that I was considering. What's going on, man? I don't know if I could ever do the no cursing episode. I'm gonna try to. I am gonna try to, but I feel like it's just gonna be boring. Just be like, so so how is the debates? Dude, I forgot to change my shirt before this. Now you gotta see me in my work garb. I should also do another episode where I can't say dude or But how's everyone doing, man? How's everyone that listens to this doing, right? That's what we really fucking care about. Dude, it's been a good old fashioned week. It's been dude, let me just fucking collect myself. I just woke up from a dream where I was being fucking, I was under siege. I was under fucking siege, dude, and now I wake up and I'm like, holy fuck, man. It's so weird to me that we don't talk about our dreams. You just roll into work one day and then your coworkers roll in and everybody was, maybe you were fucking molested in your dream, dude. And you just roll into work and you're like, oh, hi Ben. Oh yeah. Yeah. The coffee machine's not working. And you're just like fucking, like you haven't even processed it, right? Because the first thing you did when you woke up was look at your phone. And then all of a sudden you forgot why it was that you were feeling so uncomfortable. You forgot that you were molested in your dreams. And fucking, dude, oh man, I've had some wild dreams, There's nights where I'll play this first-person shooter, Warzone. And, like Friday night, I hadn't played in a few days. So me and a buddy of mine logged on and we played from fucking 9:30 until 1 a.m, dude. Like we were 13 years old. And dude, of course I go to sleep and when I wake up, what do I remember my dreams were of? The fucking war. Like I was preparing for war in my dreams. And then I just had to, fucking go straight to work and pretend that I'm not hyper aware of my surroundings. Dude, people should talk about their dreams. People should fucking, because it's traumatizing. It is traumatizing. And it also might be, it might explain why you got flipped off in traffic, why you were riding your bicycle and nobody at the intersection respected that you had the right of way. Dude, I was on my bike the other day, and I am on Second Street. If you live in Austin, I'm on Second Street on the east side. So it's like it's a residential kind of neighborhood with a few shops here and there. But there's speed bumps every block. And there's also traffic lights pretty much every other block. So it's like a go slow, a drive slow kind of street neighborhood thing. And I'm on my bike, and because the streets are so narrow, right? It's there and back, and so fucking it's not a one way, it's a two way, but there's only one lane, and they're very narrow lanes, right? And there's one car behind me, and then another car pulls onto our lane behind him, and I'm riding, and I just hear like, "Come on!" And I'm like, fucking, I like turn around, dude. I'm like, is that somebody yelling at me, dude? Because, sometimes there's homeless people here. So maybe this isn't about me, right? Don't be so fucking self involved. And I turn around, and the guy behind me has his window rolled down, and he's like sticking his head out the window, like, come on, get the fuck out of the way, you cyclist. And I just kept going, man. It's just like, all right, dude, this guy is about to fucking speed and pass both of us and maybe kill both of us in doing that. But, what can I do? I'm just a cyclist. But, yeah, man, what's been going on? There was another fucking debate, and I couldn't watch the whole thing this time. Dude, so I watched the first one with my friend Chris, and then we didn't watch the second one together, but we watched it and we were like texting, so we were kind of watching it together. And then like 45 minutes into it, I was like, all right, I'm bored, I'm gonna stop watching, just so he would know to like, oh, stop, because we were texting sort of like something would happen, and I would text him, and he would like laugh and text me, and then so I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna stop watching, right? So fucking stop texting me about the debate, and he was like, LOL, I'm gonna do the same. And then like 45 minutes later, when the debate was over, he texted me, and he was like, you should have stayed till the end, dude, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, so you did fucking keep watching it, huh? You did keep watching it. And so, of course, then I went back and I was like, look at the highlights, dude. Fucking like I'm watching Khabib Nurmagomedov. Fucking Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like he's going to be the president of the U.S., man. That'd be one thing, right? To see one of the candidates get emotional during one of the debates. And I don't mean angry, right? Because that's fucking easy. Anybody can get angry. I mean, get emotional, man. Like, we kind of saw Biden get emotional when Trump was fucking talking about his kid during the first one. Maybe it happened again during the second one. I don't know. But Trump he probably doesn't even have emotions, right? He's probably got them so blocked off because of his traumas. And I don't really know enough about Biden, but like anytime that Biden fucking panders to the audience, he like looks into the camera and he's like, your father died, and that's not because of the, like, I'm just like, dude, if you're gonna get emotional, be real. Don't fucking try to manipulate me. Don't try to manipulate me, you fuck. I can't stand it, man. Like both of these guys are fucking ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. And yeah, man. One of them's manipulating you, and the other one is just like egotistical, you know, and a narcissist. But anyway, man, I didn't even fucking finish watching them, so I don't even have that much to say. I did see, you know, I did watch Joe Rogan talk to Kanye West, and I was like, man, people should have fucking written Kanye in, you know? Like, that guy makes a lot more sense than either one of the two fucking candidates that we saw debate. You know, why didn't they bring Kanye into the debates, right? He's a fucking presidential candidate. Why is it only Republican versus Democrat? Why isn't there a fucking, like, independent debate where you get all the independents? That would be something, man. If you could just get, like, Kanye, and then, you know, like, wasn't there one year there was like a kid running for president? It was like Smell My Fingers was like his candidacy name. I think there was. You know, because like listening to Kanye talk to Joe Rogan was much more interesting, and that was 3 hours long, than listening to fucking Biden and Trump put fingers in each other's asses for 90 minutes. And pretend that that's not what they were doing. But, and, you know, I'm not saying Kanye would be a good president. I'm just saying, you know, his ideas were interesting, more so than fucking, so how are you going to handle the coronavirus crisis? Like, oh, well, I'm going to destroy the oil industry. Oh, well, I did a fantastic job. But yeah, man, I try not to focus too much on that kind of stuff. I try not to focus too much on who's going to be the leader of the free world, right? Leader, dude. It's like, just because you get the position doesn't mean that you're a leader. We shouldn't call it the leader of the free world, because it's not, man. Neither one of those guys is going to lead us. You know, because you lead by example. And I don't want to act like Biden. I don't want to manipulate people's fucking heartstrings and just be like, you know, that grandparent that you don't have anymore. Like, when you're voting, you think of him. It's like, oh, fuck, man. And I also don't want to be like, you know, I don't want to think so highly about myself all of the time. And because then what am I going to learn, right? If I'm the fucking top dog, top boss, then what the fuck is the point of continuing? Oh, I've peaked, dude. I might as well eject myself from this world now. And which is kind of what's interesting, right, about Kanye, dude, is that he's like, you know, maybe he's a little bit on the fucking wild side, but, you know, you got to take a walk on the wild side. At least he's devoting himself to what he claims is Jesus, right? And like, because, you know, he's got a little bit of ego too, but at least he's like, you know, like, fucking, this isn't about me anymore. It's about the Lord. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Why did the video stop? The fucking video just cut out, man. Are you fucking kidding me, man? The fucking video is cutting out. Oh, dude, that's great. That's fucking great, dude. Now I'm going to be fucking midway through my recording. Oh, lovely, man. Fucking lovely. Fucking lovely, man. All right, man. Well, that fucking blows. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. All right, fuck it. If it does, dude, whatever. This is a pupil's life, right? This is the Joe Rogan experience. Yeah, dude, Kanye, fucking, who cares? Who cares about Ye? That should be his next album title, is Who Cares About Ye? the fucking the debates, man. Fuck the debates, man. The fucking dude. So work has been evolving, right, to say the least. I learned yesterday like yesterday that I might only have 8 weeks left. Like, not just me, but the whole place might have 8 weeks left. And you want to know how I learned this? Through Instagram, dude. Through fucking Instagram. It's like, you would think that I would know before a customer that I might not have a job 8 weeks from today. But that's not how we do things at my work. That's not how we fucking do things at my work. And so I might not have a job in 8 weeks. And, maybe I haven't really sat with it, but it doesn't give me the anxiety that I felt the last time I was going into unemployment, right? Which isn't to say that I have to go into unemployment. And I don't mean unemployment from the government, because they fucking rejected me, But I mean just going into a period of being unemployed. When I quit my last job, I was like, dude, fucking, what if I run out of money? What if I this, that? And now it's like, all right, well, I know I'm not going to run out of money for at least a couple months. And it wasn't really hard to find another job. So what is this really about, And this time there's not that much anxiety. So if any, really, it was kind of like not relieving. But it's like if it's like when Jim Carrey tells his story about being in Hawaii and the fucking false alarm he got about the volcano about to erupt. He was basically told, all right, everybody, we have 10 minutes left and brace yourselves, because this is probably the end of your life. It was like a super volcano was about to erupt. And he describes feeling a sense of calm when he got that news, and just like, oh, it's over. Oh, so nothing matters anymore. Like, dope. Right. Obviously he describes it a little bit more eloquently, but that's kind of how I felt. I learned this yesterday, and it was just like, all right, then I guess it doesn't really, all the things that I might have been like stressed out about. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? I was like, it doesn't matter. I've got 8 weeks left. So like, it's a sinking ship. So what does it matter if I grab a fucking baseball bat and I start smashing the windows out, which isn't to say I'm going to do that, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying, dude. You know what I'm fucking saying. It's like, if somebody calls in and they're like, hey man, I didn't like my food. I'm like, well, guess what, man? You won't have to worry about that 8 weeks from now, It's like, what's the worst that could happen now? I get fired, dude? Fucking, and I'm not even saying, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, what does it matter? I'm going to be chaos now. I'm just saying, like, that is in the back of your head, where it's like, now if I make a mistake, it doesn't matter. It still matters, because you want to do a good job and you want to there's still people coming and eating. And so I'm not like actively ruining their experience, but I'm saying worst case scenario, it doesn't matter. This is going to be a blip in the fucking radar. And so I learned that, man. And then I already forgot what the other thing was, but I saw this group. So I was at work. This was last weekend, so I'm at work. My coworker leaves, right? So now I'm by myself, and it's like 3, 4 p.m. And I see a group of people sitting in the picnic tables right outside of my workplace, and so I'm like, I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, there's different age groups, right? Which is why it strikes me at first, why the group strikes me at first. They're over 15 people, which is also another like, oh, you don't see that so often. 15 people gathering at a food truck park. Some of them are in their 60s, and some of them look like they're in their late 20s, early 30s. So I'm like, all right, where have I seen this before? And where have I seen this before is recovery meetings, right? And so I'm like, oh, maybe this is a recovery meeting, like not a meeting, but maybe this is a recovery group meeting for fucking lunch or something. And I didn't think about this then, but I was like, oh, wait, they're not meeting right now because they're doing them via Zoom. But maybe they got a hold of each other and they were like, all right, let's fucking go grab lunch or whatever, right? Maybe they organized themselves. And then I just like, I keep looking. I can't figure it out, right? I can't figure it out. And then I go to the bathroom, and on my way to the bathroom, some of the workers from the other food trucks are like on their lunch break sitting at a table. And one of them says, fucking crazy, isn't it? All those flat earthers outside your truck. And I was like, flat earthers? And then it hit me, dude. I was like, oh. I went back, and all of a sudden, it was like their fucking t-shirts lit up as signs that said I'm a flat earther, right? One of them had like this new standard map of the world, and it was a fucking flat, map of the world. And another one had a sign of a t-shirt that had the NASA logo, but it said, what did it fucking say, dude? It fucking said liars. Yeah, that's what it said. Instead of saying NASA, it said liars. Another guy had a shirt that said question everything, you know? And it was like I couldn't unsee it once I had been told, it's like one of those, they're like, oh, dude, try to guess who sings this song. And you're like, fuck, I know, dude, I know. And then they tell you, and you're like, of course, dude. And I take a picture of one of the guys in their shirt, and then I send it to a friend of mine. He's like, holy shit, that guy's famous. And I'm like, no fucking way. Is he famous for what? For fucking believing that the earth is flat? And he said exactly that. And it was just so bizarre, man, like apparently the guy that I took a picture of is the leader of this group, and he's probably profiting. All the shirts that those people were wearing were probably his merch, and I just was thinking, like, because before I knew that they were flat earthers, I was looking at this one guy that reminded me of like Viggo Mortensen, dude, in A History of Violence. And, just like this kind of like grounded, humble, father-like figure that was like confident, but also not like boisterous. And I was looking at him because he arrived late, right? And so I was looking at, how is he gonna navigate this situation? That's a hard situation for me to navigate, right? You arrive late to a group thing. Do you go and like shake everybody's hand? Do you do the wave where you're just like, oh, hi everyone? Like, do you not say anything? So I was watching him do this, and he was just like kind of smiling at people and like meeting new people, and you know, you just saw this kind of charm in his face, and people smiled when they saw that he was there, and that when they met him. But then I was like, oh, you're a flat earther, dude. You're a you know. And I don't know if it means, you know, I don't know how much of, you know, I believe in the flat earth means I am I am fucking, you know, like the leap that you have to make to believe in flat earth to me is like, oh, that's like believing in Scientology, right? Which is like a proven made up religion in the last what 100 or 200 years or some shit. Like the guy that made it up just died the last 20 years or something, didn't he? And so to me, it's like, oh, maybe like, does this mean that you're actually not somebody that I should be like, oh, look at how he's behaving, and like maybe I can learn something from that? Or does it just mean that he's maybe, you know, maybe he needs to believe in something? Maybe his life is fucking, you know, maybe he just lost his wife a year ago, and and he is questioning everything now because he's like, nothing makes sense anymore. And so this was his way of finding some kind of sense. Or maybe he just wants to be a part of a group, you know. Maybe he's just isolated, like I feel sometimes, and he found a group of people that accepts him. But the thing is that then I walked back out of the truck to go to the bathroom a second time later in the day because they were there for like 4 hours. And I heard this one woman say, like, but you know, like, we're smarter because we believe in this, you know, and people don't understand that. And I was just like, wait a second, dude. Hold up. You know, hold the phone. Fucking, you know, hold the fucking phone, man. Um, you're smarter because you believe in this. I don't know if that's true, man. I don't know if that's true. You're smarter because you believe in something that is false, and because you're potentially funding, you know, a person or research or something by purchasing this kind of merch, somebody that is exploiting you, dude, you know. um but at the end of the day, man, I think everybody looks up to false gods or fucking false, you know, leaders, because nobody knows. Like, we're all just human beings, right? And some of the things that we hear make more sense to us than the things that other people say. um like, to me, it makes more sense to oh, like, believe in telling your truth and share it with other people, and try to grow and try to learn about yourself and try to become more self-aware. But you know, somebody else, I could very, very fucking easily, somebody else could be like, yeah, dude, that's bullshit. I have all these thoughts that tell me like that's bullshit. And so why would I think this if it wasn't true? And it's like, you know, I believe there's a reason for that, but fucking if they don't, man, then they don't. And who am I to say that, like, well, actually, if you read Christ's passage in Isaiah 35, like, you know, I haven't read the fucking Bible. And it's like, well, actually, if you listen to my podcast with Philip McKernan, what he says is it's like, doesn't matter, man. It's all just us trying to comfort ourselves by finding something that aligns with what we want to be aligned with. Um, but yeah, it was wild. I had never seen flat earthers in person. I've met flat earther in person, individuals in one at a time, but I've never seen them congregate. And I'd never seen, it felt like seeing a group of Scientologists. And I just hope that those people are safe, man, and that they're not being fucking, scammed by that guy. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that's different, right, about me believing in someone like Philip McKernan and them believing in somebody like this Nathan fucking guy, is that what is believing in Philip McKernan doing for me? All right, well, it's helping me connect more with myself and with other people. What does it cost me? Fucking to read a book or to have a conversation with him. And, like these sort of single moment interactions. I don't have to go to a fucking food truck park in the 95-degree weather and listen to him, give a oral fucking explanation of all these things, I just don't see how it helps you to believe that the earth is flat. I see how it helps you to believe in something if you don't have anything to believe in, but I see the ways in which it helps you cope, not the ways in which it helps you grow. And that's a big difference. There's so many people that, and I'm guilty of this myself, right? There's so many of us that believe like, oh, well, if I could just get this one thing, or if I could just get accepted by this one group of people, then everything will be fine. And then you get accepted and it's like, is everything fine now, dude? No, the answer is no. La respuesta es no. Y la encuesta dice, 100 mexicanos dijeron. Dude, that's fucking, that's what they should call Family Feud, right? There's a Mexican version of Family Feud called 100 mexicanos dijeron, which basically translates to 100 Mexicans said. 100 Mexicans said, dude. Imagine if somebody made that a show with that as the English title. 100 Mexicans said. Oh man. But no, they should change Family Feud to 100 Americans said, right? Because then you would just be like, then it changes the game. It's like, fucking things you do in the morning, and you're like, all right, dude. I would be like, meditate, gratitude journal, but I'm like, wait. This is 100 Americans that answered a fucking survey for Family Feud. Dude, 100 Americans said, okay, what did they say that we do in the morning? Shower, ding, fucking brush my teeth, ding, like fucking do 5 push-ups, fucking, you know what I mean, man? 100 mexicanos dijeron. Dude, that's so funny. That's so fucking funny. I almost want to look up that show now, because I used to watch it when I was living in Mexico. And it's funny because they have the same, they've got Steve Harvey here, and in Mexico they've got another guy with a fucking thick mustache, and it's like that's part of the job description, or part of the job qualifications, is to have a thick mustache. 100 Mexicans said. Dude, what could they, 100 Mexicans said, what could some of the thing, like things you do, things you do, things you're not supposed to, things you do, things you're not supposed to do that you do anyway, when you're working in the kitchen, and it's like fucking um sexually make the women at the restaurant sexually fucking uncomfortable, and whistle at the women. Ding. Fucking dude. 100 Mexicans said, ding. You fucking like wear wear a baseball cap backwards and blast reggaeton. 100 Mexicans said, ding. Fucking dude, that would be such a funny show. But it would have to be Americans. It would have to be all Americans, and fucking it would have to be all Americans. The host would be American, the participants American. It'd just be like making fun of Mexicans, dude. I think that would be funny, and I'm Mexican, so somebody make that show just for me. Just for me, man. If other Mexicans are offended, that's fine. I just want to watch one episode of that. Fucking, phrases you hear from Americans trying to show off their Spanish. Oh, all right. We got this one, guys. Remember Esteban at the kitchen. And Julia, what did you try to say that one curse word. What's it? Puta. Right. 100 Mexicans said, puta. Ding, dude. Oh man, it's so fun to role play this. 100 Mexicans said. How did I even get on that? Something about Family Feud and fucking believing in shit. Flat earthers. Yeah, man, it's so funny. I wanted to let people, I guess I should have done this earlier in the podcast, but the other day somebody was asking me like, oh, you have a video version of the podcast? And I was like, oh, why is that not obvious to you? And it's like, oh, because if you listen to this on iTunes, why would you know that there is a video version of this? And I don't think I ever mentioned it, but I basically wanted to say, if you're listening to this, if you're only listening to this, that I have a tendency to fucking do physical things, and I forget that there are people but people that only listen to this and don't watch it. And so yeah, there's an audio version and there's a video version, and fucking yeah. So basically, sometimes I forget that I have to explain stuff. It's a problem with my fiction sometimes, is that I'll write a story and I'm like, I'm going to put some twists in there. And then somebody will read it and they're like, I didn't understand the story. And I'm like, but what about this? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, if you had said that, then it would have made sense. And I'm like, oh, I knew that. I just forgot to tell the reader, or to give them the tools to figure it out. And what do you know? It translates to the podcast. I also wanted to thank everybody who rated the podcast, because we turned something negative into a positive. And that's a fucking important lesson that I have had to relearn. You saw me get hurt by that 1-star review last week. And I could have been like, all right, fuck it. The podcast isn't worth it anymore. So, never would have done that. But I could have quit the podcast, or fucking basically you guys, now instead of having 4 ratings that made it 5 stars, I got that one shitty one that brought me down to 4.2. And I was like, oh, wait, I need to have more ratings, because if one rating can drop me down so far, I'm kind of exposed and vulnerable. And so now we're up to 14 ratings. That might have changed, actually. Let me double check that real quick. Fucking. Yeah, dude, 14 ratings at a 4.7. And what's funny is that I got an email from this like podcast tracking company that they were like trying to like get me to go into their services so I can track my podcast. I was like, fuck this, dude. But it said that I was like number 144 of comedy in Mexico. And, you know, I don't know how many Mexican comedy podcasts exist, but and I don't know why. I guess it's just like based on listeners. I don't really care, man. But I wanted to thank you guys, because that meant a lot to see people, you know, be like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna support this guy. And what else? Yeah, turning a negative into a positive. It's not super easy for me, but I was also listening to the McConaughey podcast on Joe Rogan. He was talking about how he kept a journal, right, for like something wild, like 25 years. And he said he realized at one point that he was only keeping track of the bad days and writing about bad days and bad experiences. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of doing the same thing with my journal. And it was, yeah, like I immediately after I heard that, I wrote an entry that was mostly positive, because mostly my life is positive and slow. And so, you know, somebody that reads my fucking diary might be like, damn, this guy is going through so much and suffering and whatever. And it's like, well, I am, but I'm not. You know, like I have periods of time where I am feeling lower, and I am feeling very in my feelings about things. But like, I'll give you a good example. I went on a date like 3 weeks ago, and the girl that I went on a date with, I asked her if she wanted to meet again after the date, and she was like, I think I realized during this date that I'm not ready to date. And I was like, fuck. So when I drove home, I stopped the car and I pulled aside, and I was like, all right, how am I feeling, man? And I was feeling kind of rejected and kind of sad, you know, like, there goes another girl. and so I went home and I wrote about that in my diary. But then, you know, I fucking made a delicious dinner and got 9 hours of sleep. Woke up, went to work the next day. It was sunny on my bike ride. It was sunny on my bike ride home. You know, people were nice to me. The customers were nice to me. I wrote, like, you didn't know. I just like, and I kind of not forgot, but I just realized, like, oh, I don't actually care that much about this girl that I've met once. But if you read the fucking diary, you might be like, man, this guy really gets fucking like, you know, gets butthurt a lot easily or whatever, man. And so I'm like, all right, I need to calibrate that. I need to recalibrate that, and I need to balance it out, because it's not all it's not all about doing the work and about being emotional and about fucking trauma. And it's like, you know, uh, so yeah, I don't know how that relates to turning a negative into a positive, but fuck, man. What else? I have been, speaking of my life being slow, I've been spending a lot of time by the pool, and it's, dude, there's something about the pool at this apartment, right? The last apartment, it was like every apartment building faced the pool, and so everybody could see you just lying there. If you scratched your balls, dude, somebody could see you. If you picked your nose, somebody could see you. And this pool's got like trees covering it, and it's just removed from traffic and the sound of angry people moving about, going about their day. And so I've just been like, I get like on my days off, after I get some stuff done, I'm like, all right, man, it's time. It's time. I go over there and I just fucking do nothing, man. I just lie on what is it called? The Spanish word always comes first. A lounger. And it's so, I feel like as a kid or maybe as a late teen, you're told like you can't just sit by the pool all the time. You can't just do this, and you can't just be lounging around. And it's like, now as you grow older, as I've grown older, I learned that that is actually really good for your health. And because I go out there, and it's almost like I'm meditating, man. Not in the I'm not closing my eyes and focusing on my breath, but like the first 20 minutes I'll be kind of uncomfortable in the lounger, and I'm like, fuck these bugs and butterflies and all these distractions. And then after a while, sometimes I'll even fucking fall asleep with like my arm like this on the fucking side of the thing. Uh but you get warmed up by the sun, your body heats up, and then you plunge into the cold fucking pool water. And there's nearly like nobody there. Most of the time there's nobody there. And yeah, there's just something really, really relaxing about being there in the quiet, surrounded by trees and surrounded by bugs and just being struck by the sun. I start thinking about things that I normally wouldn't think about. Um, and there's also these two like really chubby kids that sometimes play in the pool. I'm sure they're brothers, and sometimes when it's not quiet, it's just fun to listen to those two little kids fucking, like, just jump on three, all right? It's like, no, you didn't jump last time, and you just fucking like repeating scenarios that I lived when I was a kid, right? It's like, so that is a bizarre part of life, is that we all have common experiences. Um, like you go to the pool when you're fucking 7 years old and your older brother pushes you in. And so now you never walk on the edge of the pool because you're afraid that people are going to push you in. And then you grow into your early, mid, late 20s and you see two kids playing by the pool. And one of them is like, you notice that he's actively avoiding being near the pool when his brother is near him. And you're like, I see. I'm hoping that it got really cold over the last couple of days. And so I'm hoping that that will change again. I hope we still have a few days left, a couple weeks of really warm weather, because I need it, man. Going out there is my fucking medicine. I What else? What else? I've got this. I've also been, part of the reason that it's so helpful for me to go there is because my mind does tend to sort of lose control sometimes. And what I mean by that is that, yesterday before work, I woke up and I had like 4 hours before I had to go to work. And I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna, I'm gonna read, I'm gonna write, I'm gonna meditate, and I'm gonna do all these things. And so I'll do one of them, right? I'll meditate, and then after I meditate, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hop in the shower, and then I'm gonna write. And I hop in the shower, and as I'm in the shower, I'm like, after I write, I want to eat breakfast without watching anything. I just want to eat breakfast in silence and then sit outside for the rest of my time and just sort of regroup, collect myself. I'm thinking that in the shower, and then I walk out of the shower, and the first thing I do on autopilot is I go look at my phone to see if there are any new notifications. And then 45 minutes later, I'm slumped on this chair looking at my phone, sweating, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm not going to have time to sit outside anymore. I only have time for breakfast. And so now my breakfast, even though I'm still going to eat it in silence, doesn't feel as relaxing because it's a little bit more rushed. And so I have this tendency to do those kinds of things, right? And it's all, I know why it's happening. And when I go to the pool, it's like, that's the first half hour of me being at the pool is like, all right, this is boring. Go back inside, fucking do something productive, or go back inside and fucking masturbate, dude. Like, do something that's going to stimulate you, and I've got this thing, if I meet a girl, if I'm dating a girl, I can masturbate without fucking looking at the internet, without looking at porn. But when I'm not really seeing anyone, it's like, all right, what do I fantasize about? What is there in my bank? What is there on my spank bank? And it's harder to be like, because for me, when I fantasize, it's like, oh, this is plausible, right? And so it's like, you fantasize about something that could happen in your mind, right? It's probably not gonna, but like, oh, maybe if I text that girl that I went out with fucking 6 months ago, she'll wanna hook up again. It's like, it's not really, like, that's an implausible scenario. But like, if you're seeing someone and you're like, fantasizing about doing whatever, maybe something you've already done. And so it's easier for me to stay away from porn. But when I'm not, and when I'm just like by myself, I do have a very high sex drive, or like a lot of, I don't know what it is. What do you call it? But so I rarely go like a day unless I'm like really busy that day and I've just completely forgotten. I rarely go a day without masturbating. And so that means like, all right, well, if I'm not seeing anyone, that means I'm watching a lot of porn, man. And whatever, I'm not judging myself about that. But what's funny is that at some point I started masturbating in the bathroom with the lights off. So my rationale, dude, it's so funny. My rationale is that, people spy, like people are watching you, right? Through your computer camera, through your fucking phone camera. I'm sure people can even fucking spy me through my webcam. And so I'm like, all right, I don't want, I watch some pretty intense porn at times, because the more porn you watch, the more intense the porn gets, right? It's like, dude, I don't want to watch like fucking my step sibling fingered me in the butt. It's like, dude, who cares? Step siblings do that in porn, right? Like, after a while that gets old. And so I'm like, all right, dude, I need to watch fucking somebody cry or something. Like, And I'm just thinking to myself, even though I'm admitting this now, when I do it, I'm like, wasn't there like Ted Cruz, some leaked footage of him masturbating to like some kind of pornography? And I'm like, I don't want if my name ever becomes this recognizable thing, or even if not, I don't want somebody to be able to, pull up a file on my person and see, like, I guess my fear is that the crazier the porn I watch, the more likely it is that that little camera that spies on you, because it's not on all the time, I don't think, but I think that, for example, if I were to, and I'm not saying I've done this, but I'm going to the extremes. If I were to fucking, it's like when you fucking Google like how to make a bomb, and then all of a sudden people are watching you because they're like, all right, is this guy a fucking terrorist? Or if you've like Googled fucking child pornography, then that's illegal, right? And so then you get put on a list. And to me, my thing is like, well, what if it's like fucking frowned upon, to like search on Pornhub, like fucking crying gangbang, dude. Fucking, it just, I'm just like, dude, they've got to be watching, right? And so I want all the motherfucking lights off. I don't want them to be able to see me as I'm fucking like, and they're like, 10 years from now, it leaks like Nicholas Gomez fucking ejaculation video, a crying gangbang. And it's like, and people are like, you fucking don't know that the porn industry is trafficking and blah, blah. It's like, so if I turn the lights off, man, all that the fucking thing can see is like a silhouette of me. It just sees a silhouette of my fucking my torso contortioning as I ejaculate, dude. But so I have this fear that I'm being watched when I masturbate because I watch some pretty crazy shit, right? And when I say crazy, I mean like like what I just said, like a crying baby. I'm not saying crazy illegal shit. Um, uh, but yeah, so I masturbate with the lights off because you never know who's watching, man. And I'm not trying to put on a show. I did that for enough time already. I fucking put in my reps as a 13-year-old, right? There's enough footage of me, dude. I thought about that a lot when I was growing up, actually, is like, there is enough footage of me. If people are watching, and if people are recording the way that we are told, right, that the government is watching you, but there's footage of me at 13 fucking doing a handstand against a wall and ejaculating into my mouth because a fucking strange guy from Missouri wanted to see a 13-year-old kid do that. And there's I could have a fucking Pornhub channel of me as a child fucking doing sexual things on camera. Sticking a toothbrush up my ass, dude, and fucking brushing my teeth with it. Right? The opposite end. I'm not saying I fucking rub shit in my teeth, but dude, this is why I can't be myself on dates, man. This is why I can't be myself on a first fucking date, man. Is because nobody wants to talk about fucking putting toothbrushes in your butthole, man, and then rubbing your right, like. But that's it, man. That's the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been The Pupil's Life. If you enjoyed what you listened to and you have 30 seconds to spare, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. It helps a lot. I've had the 14 ratings we got helped a lot. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. That's always awesome to see more people subscribed. And it also helps if you enjoy writing, if you want to write more, if you want to learn if you want to get a writing prompt, once a week, go to sendfox.com/NIKOAGF. And sign up for my newsletter. It's just a better way for me to keep in touch with you. What else, man? I'm going to be doing a giveaway for my latest collection of short stories sometime here soon. Probably when I get back from Mexico. I'm going back to Mexico, or I'm going to Mexico to visit family in November. So maybe like late November, early December, I'll be running a giveaway for that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that's it. That's the podcast. Have a great week. I will see you next week.